Why, good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Or good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where your location may be at this moment. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's Starlink mission. Yeah, we'll get more into that here in a second. But first, we got a roll call. Muster up. Where are you from? What you munching on? I'm coming to you from Ohio, land of nothing much exciting. And munching on ice cubes. Yay for me. Refreshing. Okay, hello from West Virginia. What's up, neighbor? Howdy, neighbor. Athens, Georgia. Southern Ohio. What's up, my fellow Ohioan? Justin DeLong's here. Gucci Pilot's here. Thank you guys for modding. Poland's here. Indiana. Hello, neighbor. California, Texas. A lot of Americans here today. Appreciate you. Central Texas, Salt Lake City, Sweden, Norway, Bergen, Norway, Italy. Hello. Germany. Hello. Don't like sauerkraut. I'm German. I don't like sauerkraut. It smells funny, to put it lightly. But I do like bratwurst. Washington, Australia. I love your koalas and kangaroos. Belgium, Spain. Columbus, Ohio. Okay, you're pretty close to me. Mexico. Wisconsin and cheese. Nailed it. Colorado, Massachusetts. Netherlands is here again. Greece, New Orleans. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Payphone Bone, thanks for joining. All right, so yeah, today we have a pretty big deal as far as launches go, and I'll explain why right meow. What's up, Rough Rider Show from Powell, Ohio? All right, so let me transition over to our other screen here. If you go over to spacex.com/launches, launches are awesome, not lunches. Those are delicious. Scroll down, you get the little synopsis for the mission here. Oh, I was like, what's that sound behind me? Doggo cam. Oh yeah, we have a dog licking himself. That's grade A quality entertainment right there. Too bad I can't zoom in on this camera. All right, back to me. So, today's Tuesday, August 18th, obviously at 10:31 a.m. So we're about 15 minutes away from launch. 11th Starlink mission. Some people are calling this the 10th one. That's because the first flock of, I call them flocks of 60 Starlink satellites were kind of like a version prior to point one or version 1 or whatever, but this is technically the 11th launch of 60 Starlink satellites or thereabout. This one will include 58 Starlink satellites and 3 more of Planet's SkySats, their Earth imaging satellites. Nothing too exciting, I guess. I mean, nerdy people would call this very exciting, and I'd have to agree, but for our purposes, there are more exciting things we can talk about, and we'll talk about right now, actually. So this booster is its 6th launch. That's never happened before. All right. 6th launch and hopefully 6th landing as well. All right. So this is new territory for SpaceX. So I spoke with someone who worked for SpaceX during the first attempt for the 5th launch of a booster. If you remember back a few months ago, that particular booster made it into orbit, successfully jettisoned the 2nd stage and everything, did its job. But on its right during its ascent, it's like one of its Merlin engines shut off, but it still made it to orbit, or not orbit, but made it to space. And then on its way back down, it didn't land because obviously it didn't have the the engines to do it. So, and I spoke to a SpaceX employee, and he said that they were really, and this is before that happened, he said they were really nervous about it. So they're probably pretty nervous about this one too. So again, new territory. We'll see what happens. It's launching from Cape Canaveral, Florida, obviously from Slick 40, that's Space Launch Complex 40 at the Cape. Went over that stuff. Oh, the fairings are not new fairings, but they will attempt to catch those as well, or recover those. Scroll down to the timeline here. We're at T minus about 15 minutes, so that puts us at about right here. 2nd stage locks loading should be underway. They haven't started their stream yet. We'll keep an eye on that. Keep on scrolling. So we'll have liftoff, and then we'll have the booster landing at about 8 minutes after T minus 0. So 8 plus T minutes. or T plus 8 minutes. Excuse my dyslexia. We'll have the Planet satellites start deploying at about 12 minutes afterward, and they'll do those about a minute or a half minute apart. And then 46 minutes after liftoff, the Starlink satellites will deploy, and about that time we should, well, we probably won't hear if the fairings have been caught, but we will, or there will be an attempt at about that time. It takes about 45 minutes for those fairings to reach the ocean, which is pretty crazy. It's a long canopy time. Okay, so if you want to go to what we're going to be watching, you just click on this watch button up here at the top, and it'll take you to this. Ooh, they started. Cool. Let's full screen this thing. We got some super chats. Ren1010, K9 Cop. Good morning to you, sir. Or ma'am, whichever one you may be in that picture. Appreciate you. Statistically, I'd have to say you are the man, because I think of my audience, only about 2%, if that, are women. All right. It is what it is. Can't control it. Robert Fallon, good to see you, brother. Keep up the good work. Thank you for tuning in and joining us, Robert. Again, nice to see you. That was very generous. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, guys. All proceeds will go towards me and this channel. Surprise. Curtis Ruddock is here with his super peach. He's pumped. Look at that. Look at that happy peach, or whatever it might be. It's a green, it's a turquoise peach. Dan Rogers, no relation to Captain America. What was his name? Something Rogers. Steve, that's it. Steve. Hi, Steve. Steve Rogers. Dan Rogers, hi from team at Rocket Lab New Zealand. Hey, huge fan. All right. This channel might be space eccentric, but we also love Rocket Lab. Big fan. Really looking forward to your guys' first booster recovery. More parachute action. Yes. Pulling for you guys. Love you. Bob Jotman. Cool. Always enjoy your channel. And Lawyer Wife. Lawyer Wife is working from home today. She's downstairs in her Lawyer Wife office where I left her doing her Lawyer Wife things. Hopefully not suing me. Thank you for that generous donation. Ren1010 is back. Hope it helps. Thank you. Yeah, you're just too kind. I don't know what you guys are munching on today, because you didn't really tell me, except for the Wisconsin guy who was eating cheese, but keep it up. It's making everyone happy. All right. Keep eating what you're eating, unless it's drugs. Drugs are bad. Okay. Carrie Turner, you better share with the Lawyer Wife. There is no sharing. She just takes. All right. There's. I lied when I said the proceeds go to me. They go to the Lawyer Wife. J.D. Powell. Good morning from the Lone Star State. That would be Texas, since we're speaking in code. Texas. Ohio is the Buckeye State. And fun fact for you, Buckeye candies are a real delicacy here. They're peanut butter and chocolate balls that look like little Buckeye nuts. But in real life, you don't want to eat them. You don't want to eat real Buckeyes because they are poisonous. All right. Fun fact and useful fact if you're ever stranded in the Ohio wilderness. And for those of you that are patrons, I also have Discord up to keep an eye out on your chats. All right. And the nerd is there. Are they launching 57 satellites or 60? They are launching 58 plus 3, so a total of 61. If my math is correct, which I would never put money on it, even with simple addition. Carrie Turner is here. Back guy, worthless nut, yeah. Okay, did I say back guy? I meant Buckeye. William Cap, doing baked taters. Tater tots or just taters? Tater tots are awesome. Okay, Justin DeLong says, FYI for everyone, a Raptor is now on site for SN6. So let's talk really quick about Starship updates as we wait for this thing to start going, which it is now. Go figure. Exciting news: SN9 has officially begun stacking itself. Yes, they do it themselves now. Apparently, no. There have been pieces like a bulkhead spotted for SN9, which is the next Starship after SN8, obviously. So exciting stuff, guys. Looks like their cryo test went well 2 days ago, and they might be doing a static fire any day, meow, according to the FAA. Let's unmute this thing and listen to them for a second.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, August 18th, and you're looking at a live view of Falcon 9 as it awaits its 10:31 a.m. Eastern Time launch from pad Slick 40 at our Cape Canaveral launch site in Florida. Hello from SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. My name is Kate Tice, and I'm a senior certification engineer here at SpaceX. You're watching a live webcast for our 11th Starlink mission. This morning's launch represents a couple of milestones: our 14th mission of 2020, our 90th Falcon 9 mission, and the first time for reusing a booster for the 6th time.
Exciting.
To date, we've launched nearly 600 Starlink satellites to orbit. As a reminder, Starlink is a constellation of satellites that can provide high-speed, low-latency internet all over the globe, particularly in remote or rural areas where connectivity is limited or completely unavailable. We have 3 small sat passengers on board today's mission for our customer Planet, the operators of the largest constellation of Earth observation satellites. You may remember we also successfully launched 3 SkySats for Planet on a Starlink mission in June earlier this year. The satellites on today's mission will enable high-resolution imaging of a single location up to 12 times a day. They'll be joining 18 SkySats already in orbit, completing Planet's fleet of 21 satellites, making it the largest high-resolution fleet of satellites in orbit to date. Now, in order to make room for those 3 rideshare passengers, we will be launching 58 Starlink satellites today into low Earth orbit instead of the usual 60, as we have done in the past. Planet's SkySats will deploy in 3 sequential maneuvers beginning.
Okay, so we went over that a little bit already. Let's catch up on these super chats because Lab Padre's here and he's click happy this morning. I like it. He's coming to you from Boca Chica, Texas. If you don't know, Lab Padre has his own channel, so make sure you check out his channel. He brings us all the latest live SpaceX Starship stuff from Boca Chica. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Look at that. Listen to that cash register. I hear it. Cha-ching. Dude, you're too nice, man. I hop on his live stream from time to time when big events come, so make sure you subscribe to him and hit that notification bell so you can always be caught up to date by the day on Starship stuff. And our good mutual friend Stumps is here too. Heidi ho. Well, heidi ho. Thanks, Stumps. Love you, buddy. And Ame Abbott. Nailed it, I'm sure. He's here with his pixelated GIF. What up? One up. One up, what up? And I'll have, whoa, dude. Oh, man, I'm going to have to drop some serious coinage next time I'm on your live stream, bro. You've been on it lately, by the way, Lewis, with your recaps of the cryo and the moving of all the starships. Personally, as a YouTube creator, I appreciate that because every now and then I will, since you have like a 12-hour time, like max time that you can go back on your stream, sometimes I'll miss an event. I'll be like, no. So I thank you so much for getting that last cryo test the other day because I forgot to go back and capture it, but then you uploaded it separately. So much love, brother. Can't wait to see you. Hopefully I can make it down there for next month's Starship presentation. If that's still going to happen, we'll see. Hope to hang out with you and the wife. Thank you guys. Thank you. There was the drone ship, of course. I still love you. They just showed. I don't know if I recognize. I'm terrible with faces and names, but she does not look familiar to me. Then again, I might have Alzheimer's, so let me know if she is familiar. I miss John. I wish John was here.
In which the inner stage is made out of. The inner stage is what connects the first stage to the second stage and protects the second stage's single Merlin vacuum or MVAC engine during launch. That MVAC engine ignites after the first stage separates and will propel the second stage along with Planet's 3 SkySats and our 58 Starlink satellites into an elliptical orbit above Earth's surface. Like I mentioned earlier, Planet's SkySats will deploy sequentially at about 12 minutes and 30 seconds after liftoff, and our Starlink satellites will deploy around T plus 46 minutes. Falcon 9 has been loading propellant since T minus 35 minutes. As a reminder, Falcon 9 uses a rocket-grade kerosene.
Okay, so they're talking about the the ins and outs of Falcon 9 right now. We got a new member, Droning Along. Thank you for becoming part of the family. Consider yourself adopted. So for those of you that are new, tuning in for the first time to a SpaceX launch or my launch or whatever, it's not a bad thing. It's not bad that the rocket is smoking. There are a few instances and cases when smoking is good for you. And in this case, smoking is great. What that is these really, really cold fuels that they're pumping into the rocket right now. As they pump them in, they start to warm up, obviously, because Florida's kind of hot. It's kind of hot in Florida, kind of humid. All right. And as it happens, those gases expand, right? They stop becoming liquids and start becoming gases as they heat up. And if you don't release that pressure, rocket go boom. All right. So must release the pressure. And there's mystery and mischief. I'm still in the habit of getting out of the habit of saying mystery and mischief. It's mystery and mischief, as we all learned, as I learned at least the other week from watching one of their new hosts spill that little secret. Looking at my patrons on Discord. Okay, the nerd is our Wisconsin cheese guy. Okay, I got you, man. Good to see you. Shogun Winger seems like they have really punished Jessica. I think that's her name for showing Starlink unboxing. Yeah, so one of their hosts, Jessie, she did a Starlink unboxing video on her Instagram because she's kind of Instagram popular. I guess she's also a rapper or rap artiste. She did a Starlink unboxing, which I was very jealous of. Like 4 days after I offered SpaceX, I emailed SpaceX. I was like, hey, I'd be willing to do this for you guys. All right. I'm more than willing to do a Starlink terminal unboxing if you'd like. And then she releases one 4 days later, and then she took it down. So we don't know if she got in trouble or whatever. But we haven't heard from her since. She's been buried in these alligator swamps, apparently. Original SciTech. Welcome to the family, man. The eccentric family. You'll love it. And if you don't, you can run away. Run away from home. We're at T-minus 3 minutes. It's about to go down. And by that, I mean up.
And getting future news about our Starlink service, head on over to starlink.com and sign up for updates. And if you're interested in helping roll out Starlink to the world, our Redmond, Washington location, which is just outside of Seattle, is looking for talented software engineers. The software engineers here at SpaceX get to drive work across exciting projects such as our rockets, spacecrafts, and satellites and ground systems. Send your resume to softwarejobs@spacex.com if you're interested in joining our team.
There you go, guys.
So right now we are just under 2.5 minutes from liftoff, and Falcon 9 is moving into the final stages of the countdown. Right now, the first and second stages are nearly fully loaded with 1 million pounds of kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen. Fuel is completely loaded. LOX on the first stage is also completely loaded, and we are continuing to top off the liquid oxygen loading on the second stage. Super chilled liquid oxygen, which, like I mentioned, we call LOX, is our propellant oxidizer.
Saw them testing the water system down there. I don't know if you caught that too. Apatox is in the house. Welcome, Apatox. Appreciate you. Glad you're here. Yeah, so if you want to work for SpaceX, I'm sure that would be an exciting and very purposeful and meaningful job to have. Keep in mind, they do like to make you work. They like to get their money out of you. So if you're kind of a lazy bones, not specifically the type to work hard and play hard, maybe you just like to play hard and work mediocrely, SpaceX probably isn't for you, or any of Elon's companies. They are hard workers over there, no doubt about it. Big guy with dreads is back. Nerdle power. We out here. Wow, thank you guys. Oh, the Nerdle guys, the Lab Padre guys are in the chat and making it rain. Making it rain in a good way. Thank you guys. Love you. We'll always love you. Celine Dion. Oh my goodness. Droning along. Beat out Lab Padre. He called you guys out and you answered. Thanks for being you, Kevin. Thank God for the USA and SpaceX. USA. I can't do it because my arms aren't that flexible. Man, you guys are awesome. All right. I love you regardless whether you want to throw your money in my face or not. But it's always much appreciated. Love you. Thank you so long joining along. And thank you, Lab Padre. Thank you, Big Guy with Dreads. And Alex is here as well. I'll get right back to you here in a second. Alex, I'm going to unmute this.
Okay,
There we
so
go.
we're in the final phases of the countdown. Let's
Stage
watch
one
as
to start
Falcon
pressures.
9 takes
T-minus
our
15
58
seconds.
Starlink satellites and 3
Falcon 9
Planet
is
SkySats
taking
into
Let's
orbit.
do it.
10,
Let's do it.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Number 6.
0. Ignition. And liftoff with the Falcon 9. Go Starlink.
It's awesome. It's incredible, man.
Stage one propulsion done.
Just the 6th time we're reusing this rocket. No big deal. The camera guy's nervous. He's shaking. See, this is why I love
Successful
daytime
liftoff of
launches,
Falcon
man.
9
Power
from
telemetry
Space
nominal.
Launch Complex 40 for this 11th Starlink mission. The 3 Planet SkySats and our 58 Starlink satellites are on their way to space.
Sweet.
In about 10 seconds, we will be approaching max Q. Merlin engines are now
Vehicle
throttling
supersonic.
down as they anticipate the moment of greatest aerodynamic pressure.
You saw it reach supersonic speed, right? You saw that cloud.
Max Q.
All right, we just went through max Q, and the vehicle is now supersonic. And Merlin engines have throttled back up. So coming up in about a minute, we'll have 3 events happening back to back. First will be main engine cutoff, or MECO. This is where all 9 Merlin engines will shut off to slow the vehicle down in preparation for the second
back,
event,
engine chill has
stage
started.
separation. This is where the first stage separates from the second stage, with stage 1 starting to make its way back to Earth for landing, while second stage will kick off the third event in this sequence, SES-1, or Second Engine Start 1. This is where that Merlin vacuum engine will ignite and begin to propel the second stage along with our payloads into orbit. Main engine cutoff coming up in about 20 seconds.
I love seeing that plume spread out as the atmosphere thins. It's pretty sweet. Makes me
Everything
want
continuing
to
look
play
nominal for
Kerbal
stage
Space
1.
Program 2. Can't wait for that to come out. Ooh, we need to talk video games here in a little bit. It's a big day for video games today. Hey, Kevin, I can't mod for the stream, but I am here to listen while I work. Stay
Yeah,
safe,
Miko.
everyone. Thank you, Alex. Glad to have you here.
Stage
Alex is a
separation
workaholic.
confirmed.
Here she goes.
And in back ignition.
That's official.
All
Number
right,
6
so there we
worked.
saw those 3 events all happen in quick succession. Stage 1 is now making its way back to Earth. There on the left-hand side of your screen, we can see the grid fins slowly deploying. And on the right-hand side of your screen, the Merlin vacuum engine beginning to develop that healthy orange glow as it continues its journey on to orbit.
Fairing separation confirmed.
We're just a few seconds away from fairing deployment.
Wait. There it goes.
There we go.
Yes.
Visual confirmation of fairing deployment. Once again, as a reminder, we flew those fairings on a previous Starlink mission in January earlier this year. So with that, we have successfully reused this fairing pair. Like I said earlier, we will be attempting to catch those fairing halves with our recovery ships, Ms. Tree and Ms. Chief.
So she's saying it the old-fashioned way. I like it. Teenage astronauts here as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Bermuda acquisition of
Everything
signal.
continuing nominally.
Nominally. Oh, there goes ice. Yes. Frozen oxygen. Aw, they cut away. I like watching it float away. It's satisfying to me.
While the second stage is continuing to do its job, the first stage is making its way back home to Earth. In the next few minutes, it will be executing 2 burns. The first is the entry burn, where 3 of the Merlin engines at the bottom of the first stage will light up and begin to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. The second burn is known as the landing burn.
There it goes.
This is
there it
a
goes.
single
I
engine
got
burn
stuck on the engine.
that will bring the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to make a soft landing on the drone ship.
So this camera on the left-hand side is at the top of the inner stage on the first stage booster looking downwards. You can see these huge grid fins made out of titanium, very
The
expensive.
58
Stage 2
Starlink
on
satellites
nominal
that
trajectory.
are being carried along on the right-hand side of your screen there by the second stage will be joining our constellation of over 600 Starlink satellites that are already on orbit.
Beta
which
testing
once again
has
are
begun.
designed to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to people on Earth. This is
I don't know if you guys
particularly
heard that.
important for places where good internet is hard to access, as well as places where wired or grounded internet is impossible, such as ships and airplanes. We're 1 minute away from the beginning of that entry burn. On the left-hand side of your screen, we can see stage 1 coasting using nothing but those grid fins. We see them articulate here and there as they continue to steer. And we also utilize nitrogen gas for occasional little bursts of that nitrogen gas, and we use that for attitude control, which sometimes you can catch a glimpse of as little white puffs. Second stage continuing nominally. Now at 1.5 Gs for acceleration. Ten seconds away now from the beginning of that entry burn. Again, this is the first of 2 burns intended to slow the vehicle's velocity
Stage
down
1
as it
FPS is
re-enters the
saved.
Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
Stage 1 entry burn
So
startup.
Starlink is in beta right now, and I can't remember the exact speed people
There
are
we can see
getting,
that the
but
entry burn
apparently it's
has
pretty
begun.
good.
And will last for about 20 seconds.
It will only get better.
Stage 2 continues on nominal trajectory.
Again, this burn utilizes 3 engines at the base of the rocket. And
Stage
there
1
we
entry
can
burn
see the
shutdown.
entry burn has concluded.
Control yourself, booster.
Second stage trajectory is still looking nominal.
Let's keep the cam live the entire way. That would be awesome. Come on, baby. She can do it. Number 6.
And in less than a minute, we will see the first stage on the left-hand side of the screen perform
She
its
can't do
landing
it. She
burn.
did not do it.
Looking
She
back
never does.
at our second stage, everything continues to look good. Once again, we are carrying 58 Starlink satellites prepared to join the over 600 Starlink satellites that are already on
Stage 1
orbit,
transonic.
as well as 3 rideshare satellites for our customer planets. Those 3 SkySats will join the 18 SkySats that are already also on orbit. We're about 15 seconds away from landing burn.
Terminal guidance.
Here we go. Here we go. Number 6 landing. It's going to happen.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Keep that view. Come on, baby.
And landing burn has begun. You should see the
Stage
plume
2
from the
FTS is
rocket
saved.
appear on the
Should.
screen here.
Stage
and
1
second-
landing
Hope we
deployed.
do. If we don't, that's a problem. All right, here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Nice landing. Oh, that was
All right.
beautiful. That was a
Touchdown and
soft
shut off.
touchdown.
Successful
Stage 1 landing
landing
confirmed.
of the first stage booster.
Bullseye.
Once again, this is the 6th time that we have utilized this booster on a mission, also marking its 6th landing. This is the Of Course I
That's
Still Love You
awesome.
drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean.
That's awesome. That was a very satisfying landing. I liked it. Very awesome.
So turning our attention back to second stage, we've had
Nominal
confirmation
orbit insertion.
of second engine cutoff, or SECO-1. And we also have confirmation of a good
Useful
orbit.
acquisition of
So
signal.
now that stage 2 is going to coast in this orbit for another 3.5 minutes, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back at T plus 12 minutes for the deployment of Planet's 3 SkySats.
They'll be back in about 2 minutes. Roger that. Look who decided to join us. Doggo did. Little Doggo. You guys can't see him. He's off camera. He won't even fit on the Doggo cam. Sorry. Yeah, exciting. Number 6 landing. SpaceX set a record. Good for SpaceX. Now, Blue, it's notable. You should note that Blue Origin also lands their boosters, but those do not put things into orbit. Not even comparable. So, big difference. Woof, woof. Lewis is a huge fan of the doggos. Yep, you want me to rub your belly? Gosh, you're so needy this morning. Oh. He's like, I'm just worried about you, Dad. You're talking to yourself. That's not healthy. No, it is healthy. Right? It's very healthy. You should talk to yourself. Unless you do it in public. That's probably not very healthy. All right, there we go. Okay. I'm going to scroll back up through the chat here and see how excited you guys are. You guys looked pretty pumped. Awesome. I love the idea. This is Shogun Baker on Discord here. I love the idea by the person in the chat. They need to put launch decals on the side of boosters like fighters do for kills, right? Or at least put like a huge tally mark. That's what I do for my model rockets. Whenever I recover one successfully, I put a tally mark on the side of the rocket. That's what they need to do. Yeah, I love the decal thing. We should tell that to Elon. He's like, I also love seeing the booster all charred and toasty. I think it's pretty sweet. So I would hate to cover any of it up with some decals, but I get what you're saying. Lab Padre, sorry Nightbot. Mike Clark, thanks for a great video with commentary. Kev, you're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. It's not over yet. We'll stay on for the entire mission today. It's going to be about another 30 to 35 minutes until they deploy those Starlink stats. So I'll just hang out with you guys. So Lab, did Nightbot go down? What happened? I don't know. I'm not in the loop. Or did you just break the night? Oh, here we go. I see what happened. Nightbot is being a Nazi in the chat. Lab Padre, holy cow, stop spamming caps warning. Ooh. You can ignore Nightbot. He can be pushy. I've been told he's very stringent, or it is very stringent, and I don't know how to reprogram that. So we're just going to let him do his thing.
We are carrying 58 Starlink satellites, as well as 3 rideshare satellites for our customer Planet. We're about 10 seconds away from the first of 3 deployments for those Planet SkySats.
Should be right on top of the stack. We can't see him.
SkySat 21 deploy confirmed.
Okay, deployment confirmed for that first SkySat.
Here's an
idea.
idea.
First of 3 this morning.
They should put a SpaceX live cam on one of those sats
And there on your
at
screen,
the top.
at the end of the stack, slowly making its way away from the second stage. We can see that first SkySat moving along.
And have the camera pointed at the second stage with all the Starlink satellites.
SkySat
That way we
20
could see
deploy
like
confirmed.
a side view of this upper stage rocket
And
with all these
confirmation
stacks.
that the second
That'd be
SkySat
sweet.
has deployed. We'll see that here momentarily. There
Of
it
course
is
you
at
won't
the
get that camera back, but
end
you
of
won't get the
stack
camera
again.
back on the second stage anyway. So
And awaiting the third and final deployment for this rideshare customer.
And SkySat 19 deploy confirmed.
And deployment confirmed for that third and final SkySat for our customer Planet. These 3 SkySats will be joining 18 already on orbit, which will complete the fleet of 21 and make it the largest high-resolution fleet of satellites in orbit to date. Like I mentioned before, they'll be capable of imaging a single location up to 12 times a day. Right now, stage 2 is going to continue to coast in this orbit for a few more minutes. During this time, it will start to spin along its central axis, which will give those Starlink satellites the momentum they require to space themselves out over time after deployment at T plus 46 minutes. So right now, we're going to take a break, but stay tuned because we'll be back at T plus 45 minutes in preparation for the deployment of those 58 Starlink.
All right, so we got about 30 minutes. So she said those SkySat satellites can take 12 images per day at high resolution. Wow, I guess that's impressive. How many what is it? How many frames per second is that? 0.0001. Yeah, so some I wanted to talk about this today. Wait, hold on a second. The nerd AK Wisconsin cheese guy on Discord. I asked a flat earth group if anybody had been pushed over the edge because of social distancing. They banned me. What is life without a sense of humor? Come on, Meow. If you can't laugh at jokes, even at your own expense or ideologies, then you're kind of a boring person. So today releases Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We talked about this a little bit in our last live video. This is very exciting. Why? Because Kevin owns it and I downloaded it the other day in preparation to play it today. It is huge, apparently. Like, it's pretty big map, I hear. The map is the size of the Earth itself. So I can't wait to get in a plane on that flight sim and fly a plane into my house. It's going to be fun. All right. Anybody else getting that game or looking forward to playing that game? See you droning along. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your generous donations today. Have a good one. Back to work. And shout out to all of you guys who are at work right now on your phones. Let me transition to me big. On your phones with your headphones in. Trying to keep an ear out and an eye out for the boss. Make sure they don't catch you. Lab, where can I download? So if you go to the Microsoft Store, Microsoft Store, and search Flight Simulator 2020, that's where I downloaded mine. I don't know if it's on Steam or not, but that's where I got mine. It should be fun. But Lab, you're a real pilot, so you don't really need to download the game. But then again, I guess you can't exactly fly transcontinental or anything in your Cessna, so I get it. Yeah, I get it. Are they saying something right now or not? I didn't think so. Okay, they're just keeping the rotating images up for us. Appreciate it. Yes, very much looking forward to getting the joystick and throttle out for something other than KSP. I was a huge fan of flight simulators growing up. 98, I think, was my first one. And this one I've seen from the trailers has slightly better graphics to it than Flight Simulator 98, and a slightly bigger map as well. Yeah, they included everything. They use like an AI, a new developed AI to take like Bing Maps and use Bing Maps or something to just redevelop develop the map off of the Bing Maps or something, like just through this AI doing it automatically. And there are parts of them the map, like certain airports that they actually drew up by hand, like artists actually looked at photographs of the airport and did them by hand. But for the most part, it's a pretty accurate representation anyway of everywhere on Earth. I don't know about North Korea because it's kind of like a closed state. I'm sure they still have satellites over North Korea. They can't do much about it. Speaking of North Korea, so here's how great communism is. They are now confiscating dogs from families so that they can have food for the populace. Isn't that disgusting? All right, so sorry to bum you out, but that's pretty terrible. Anyway, back to video games. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 the last couple weeks, and I beat it before when it first came out, but I missed Arthur Morgan, so I had to play it again. Good times, good story. And like what's crazy is the first time I played the game, and if for those of you that don't know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a Western game, big map as well, very detailed, really well-written storyline. The first time I played it was nothing like the second time. The first time I played it with high honor, and this time I decided to play it just by killing everyone. It got really low honor, and like it was like a totally different game. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't play a lot of video games. They have to be really good video games for me to play them. I play maybe a new game once a year or once every other year. So Flight Simulator has 2020. It's basically the only good thing to come out in 2020 anyway. And then I think the next video game I'll probably end up playing is Kerbal Space Program 2 next year. Hopefully that comes out next year. Really looking forward to that one. Kunu, stop licking yourself. Come on, be professional. Kunu. So what? What do you want? Mind my own business, Dad. Carrie Turner, get Xbox Game Pass for $1 the first month and get I can't remember the name of that game, but I know what you're talking about. FS 2020 from there. Yeah, that's a racing game. I'm not huge into racing, but I do appreciate the graphics that they have for those games. Isn't or is that a soccer game? I'm pretty sure that's a racing game, or is that a soccer game? I think that's a racing game. Let me Google it really quick. See, this is how much I don't play video games. Oh, wait. Are you talking about Flight Simulator? Oh, you're talking about what was I thinking of? What's the racing game that kind of sounds like that? Racing game FS is it FSX? No, I'm just stupid, I guess. Oh, FS Rally. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. So you can get Flight Simulator 2020 on Xbox Game Pass for what, $1? But is it coming out on Xbox or is it just PC? I didn't even think about that because I always played Flight Simulator on PC. Let me look that up for those of you that are interested. Flight Simulator 2020 Xbox. It is for Windows 10. So platforms. Oh, it is coming out on Xbox One. Platforms, Microsoft Windows and Xbox One. That's crazy. I think the download was like 120 gigabytes or something like that. I can't remember the exact, but that's cool that it's coming out on Xbox. Thing is, on Xbox, you don't have a joystick and throttle, which is a necessity for myself personally. But if you can do it with Xbox controller, good for you too, man. Interesting. So here I am paying like 50, 60 bucks for the game on PC. Whereas I have an Xbox, I could have just bought it for $1 on I don't use Game Pass because I don't play that many video games. So I know nothing about Game Pass. I know that I think when I bought Xbox Live, I got it with that. Like it was a gold card or membership. But I never use it because like I don't play a lot of video games. Dang it. Oh well. I still don't regret buying it for a price 60 times that for PC because I prefer to play games on PC. It's easy to capture them because I will be playing some Flight Simulator for my members and patrons, just so they get to see what it's like if they're curious about buying it themselves. You can get Game Pass on PC too. What the cripes? I didn't think you had to have Xbox Live if you played live on PC, but I guess that makes sense. So I typically play PC games when I play by myself, like campaigns and stuff. But if I want to play with like my brothers or whatever, then I'll play on Xbox. Because it used to be there weren't that many games that were cross-platform, but now there kind of is. So I don't really know much about Xbox Live as far as PC goes, but I guess that makes sense that you would have to have Xbox Live whether you're on Xbox or PC. I have so much to learn. So yeah, I'll probably do our midweek episode for members today. get caught up on all the latest SpaceX news, and then I'll probably dive onto Microsoft Flight Sim and fly around. I want to go to the Bahamas. I want to go to, obviously, my hometown. Maybe the Arctic, see if I can find any polar bears or penguins at the South Pole. Polar bears at the North Pole, penguins at the Arctic and South Pole. I don't think there's any animal renderings, though. That'd be too impressive. At least I have dogs. Just laying there. You're not a very good entertainer, buddy. Yep, Lab's a Cessna pilot. Believe it or not, I have, I think it's only, I don't remember if I did one semester or two. I think I just did one semester of a flight school at Ohio State University. It's pretty expensive thing to get into, but I got my ground school done, and I have some supervised flight hours in a Cessna, but nothing exciting. Jonathan's here. What's up, Jonathan? Yeah, I thought about buying rudder pedals for Flight Sim 2020, but I was like, I briefly looked into it. I was like, oh, they jacked up. Like, they're hard to find because everyone's buying them for this game. So I was like, nah, screw it. I never had rudder pedals before, so I'll just use the tweaker on the joystick as my yaw. And of course, Gucci Pilot has to respond in the chat to Lab. Boeing pilot here. He just flies what do you fly, Gooch? 727s, I think. I'll be flying those in the game. I heard it's a lot more complicated to fly these things than it used to be, like in Flight Simulator 98. So I'm just hoping that I can start the engine. Pull that yoke out and turn the key to start. Yeah. I hope I run into, because it is multiplayer if you choose to be. I hope I run into like try hard, die hard players that are, communicating with ground control in the tower, and I'm just like running into parked planes and stuff. That will be me. Not on purpose, but just because I suck. Ultimate Game Pass is both Xbox and PC. Good to know. I might have to look into that now. Because I do have, I used to just buy Xbox Live per month, but then I got sick of re-putting in my credit card every time, so I just do it automatically now. I don't think it's the gold membership, so I might have to look into it. It's coming out on, I don't know, is Flight Simulator 2020 on Xbox today, or is it just PC? Because sometimes they do that. I think it's today. Okay, so here's the downside to buying it on Game Pass, where I guess you don't really buy it on Game Pass, right? If you have Game Pass, then it comes free. It can be removed from Game Pass, so if you do want to play it that way, they might take it from you, those Indian givers. And that's the thing about me. I tend to like Red Dead Redemption 2. I like to play the game when it comes out, and if it was really good, then I'll play it again like a couple years later or something. So I was one of those diehard, I was one of those that held out on moving from physical copies of games to just digitally downloading them. I used to have to, even though you could digitally download them, I wanted the physical copies because I just liked having the game here in case I needed to re-download it or something went wrong with my, I don't know, my Xbox account or something. I don't want to lose any games. But I'm officially in the position now where I don't care. I'll just digitally download games. I don't buy hard copies anymore. I think the last hard copy I bought was Rainbow Six Siege. I probably only bought 3 games since then. Or was Grand Theft Auto 5 released before or after Siege? I can't remember. I think Siege came after. Man, Grand Theft Auto 5 is almost like a decade ago. That's crazy. Can't wait till they come out with the 6th one. It's gonna be awesome. If Red Dead Redemption 2 was really massive and really detail oriented, I can't imagine almost what that came out in 2018, I think, or 2019. It'll be like at least 5 years between RDR2 and Grand Theft Auto 6. I can't imagine how much better it's gonna be. It's gonna be insane. No, Starlink didn't release already. They're gonna do that at T plus 45-ish minutes. So we still have about 15 minutes till they're gonna release Starlink. Mike Clark is a fan of the 777. That's quite huge. Oh, Gucci Pilot flies a 737. What did I say? 727? So that's what I meant. 737. Lab. My first solo flight was exhilarating and total surprise. My trainer told me to pull over on runway. He hopped out and said, "You ready?" Oh, what a jerk. Dude, that's how it goes in the aviation industry, right? Like the pucker factor time. It reminds me of my first, the first time I packed my own parachute. I only had a few jumps in, and maybe even, I think I might have just graduated the training part of my skydiving, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna teach you how to pack your own chute now." I was like, okay. So, and we were a class, so we packed our own chute, and I was falling behind. I was taking my time on it, but everyone else was basically done and getting ready to go. So I started speeding it up. I think I might even like packed a pebble or a twig into my parachute. I was trying to go so fast. And I was like, oh, well, at least I probably won't jump it. They'll probably unpack it and have a professional pack it for someone else later, because it wasn't my own personal parachute. It was theirs that I was just renting. But then after I packed it and I go up to the instructor, I'm like, here you go. And I hand it to her, and she's like, no, you're going to jump with it. And I was like, no, we're not. No, I'm not. So I put the parachute on, the container on, and I go wait in line to get on a plane. And the next plane just happened to be a low altitude jump to practice like bailouts, where they only go up to, I think it was like 3,000 or 5,000 feet. And what you do is you dive out backwards facing the plane, and you give yourself a 2-second pull, or 2-second count, and then you pull, and you do this like one person after another. So it's like parachute jump or paratrooper jumping. And so I was nervous the whole ride up. I was like, oh God, is this thing gonna open? So I was religiously practicing. Okay, look to the right, pull, cut away, look to the left, pull, reserve. I was doing that. I probably did that 100 times because I thought, I was like, this is gonna happen. I'm gonna have to do this. But nope, it opened. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm still alive. And what really made me nervous was the fact that it was a low altitude deployment. So I really wanted to get that down quickly because you wouldn't have much time to do it at just a few thousand feet up. But man, I can't imagine going up thinking that in a Cessna, thinking that you're going to have your instructor there to help you land the plane in case you need to. But then they bail out and they're like, good luck. No. I'd be like, no, my training's done. I'm not doing this. I don't trust myself. Like when I was doing my Cessna training, I was like taking the controls, and I would just make sure he still has his hands on his, like, don't you take your hands off the controls. I'm not paying you to have just a joyride while I fly this thing, right? You're going to fly this thing, and I'm going to pretend like I'm flying it. Oh, gosh. Pretty stressful. Kevin, when was your first jump and how nervous are you? Technically, my first jump was 2024 or 2025, my first year of college. I joined this outdoor grouping club, and we went skydiving in Dayton, Ohio. And it was tandem, obviously. That was my first jump, but it was something I looked forward to my entire life. Like, I wanted to skydive ever since I was 4. The first time I saw skydivers on TV, I was like, those people are flying above the clouds. My brother was the one watching the show. I happened to see it. And he was like, no, Kevin, they're falling to their deaths. I was like, okay, that's cool too. And so I was hooked right away, and I always wanted to do it. So like my first jump was a dream come true for me. And then after the military, or during the military, I decided to go balls out and get my own certification. So further fulfilling the dream of becoming a bona fide skydiver. But then I just had to give the sport up because it got too expensive and too hard to keep up with here in Ohio, where we have seasons, unlike San Diego, where I got my certification, where it's always nice out and you can jump basically all year round. Here in Ohio, it's kind of painful to jump in the middle of winter, and you have to jump every so often. I think it's like once every other month you have to jump to keep your cert regular. But no, I wasn't nervous for any of my jumps. I very much looked forward to them. I wasn't nervous like I was nervous about flying an airplane. I was more nervous about doing that. Michael Ernest is here. What's up, Michael? Microsoft Flight Sim is live right now, and some guy trying out. Yeah, I bet there's a lot of people streaming it live. Today was the first day for its release, its official release. I'm going to be trying it out later. Did I say 2000? Did I say 2024 or 2025 when I was talking about my first jump? I meant 2004 or 2005. That's what I meant. But yes, I am a Terminator coming from the future. Sorry, not to get ahead of myself. 2004, 2005 is when I made my first jump. We're about 10 minutes away from the Starlink satellite release. So don't go anywhere. Should be fun to watch. Hopefully we'll get to see something. Kerry Turner, coolest thing I ever got to ride in was an Air Guard 64 while I was in the National or the Air National Guard. Guys were showing everything to us. That's cool, man. I always wanted to ride in like an Apache helicopter. I know that's a weird like dream to have, but I always thought that'd be cool. Oh, we do have a time traveler in the chat. See, I'm not the only one, guys. And I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. And since I am from the year 2024, 2025, we do make it to Mars. Cargo does, not people. People we are expecting to happen in 2026. All right. So the future is exciting. Make sure you're a part of it. Chorton Wheelie, any update on polo shirts? Actually, my mother came to visit a couple weeks ago, and she forgot to bring some samples, but they're coming along. She's a pretty busy lady, and if she's watching, hi, Mom. She started her own embroidery shop during this whole COVID thing to help make face masks and donate them to local businesses and hospitals and churches and stuff. And so she's kept that business going. Now she embroiders like children's clothing and stuff like that. But I was like, hey, you want to do some polo shirts for my channel? Because my members really would like some. So we're still working on it, still work in progress. But as far as I can tell, they're coming along nicely. I will be sure to let you guys know when we're ready to do it for real. And I'll take orders from my members. Teespring has the ability to do polos, but I want comfortable shirts for I like very breathable, like kind of dry fit polos. So I'm going to be doing these customly and for members only. Lionel L. Hook me up with some lottery numbers, Kevin. Ooh, okay, here we go. 17, 17, 17, and 17. Can you do the same numbers every time? No. All right, here we go. For reals. 17 is always a good number. It's my lucky number. Why? Because I was born on the 17th. So to me, it's lucky, right? 17, 5, 10, 69, and 420. 4, and then 20. I don't know how many you need, but there you go. I listed a bunch of numbers there. Choose at your own will. And full disclosure, I've never won the lottery, so you might not want to pick those. Thank you, though, Lionel, for donating some of your lottery money to me. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, Civil Air. Carrie, I almost joined Civil Air Patrol myself growing up. We do have a local branch in my hometown, but I never did. For reasons I don't really know why. I guess I kind of viewed it as the Boy Scouts a little bit, and I had a bad experience with the Boy Scouts. I joined the Boy Scouts thinking I was going to do cool things like go on huge camping trips in the mountains, and all we did was like set up tents in like an old abandoned factory. I was like, this sucks, I'm out. So I wasn't really too keen on joining any more clubs in my younger days. Yeah, I was pretty busy with sports like swimming and diving and football and all that garbage. And making model rockets at home, Have to do the important things. How about starting your very own space-eccentric flight sim display team? Ooh, sounds dangerous. That'd be cool. Could fly like Thunderbirds and what do they call it when you fly them next to each other? In formation. There you go. What's your opinion on nuclear spacecraft tugs? I'm all for it. You want to put nukes in space? Let's do it. Nuke it up, I always say. I use tugs a lot in Kerbal Space Program. They worked well for me. So, hey, I'm all about innovation and seeing what works and what doesn't. And I know we're probably not going to see nukes in or nuclear technology in space anytime soon because of a deal we have with other countries and nations, but eventually maybe it could happen. Once we get sick of going to the moon and Mars and we want to venture further, we'll probably have to, unless something better comes along. Alex, somebody say polos. Yeah, Alex is the polo guy. He's always asking about polos. Yep, we're working on them still, Alex. You guys will be the first to hear when we got them ready to go. I got the shirts picked out. Just got to order them and send them my mom's way. Make sure she's ready to go with the embroidery side of things, and we'll get it done. Got about 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Hello, Kevin. Hello to you and all veterans. Yes, any veterans watching, thank you for your service, my brothers and sisters. Always appreciate you guys. There is another disabled veteran run YouTube channel that covers space stuff. U.S. Launch Report, I believe, is the name of their channel. So make sure you check them out too. I never spoke to those guys, but they seem like decent fellas if they're willing to send veterans to launches. So good on them. Jonathan Kish, RC Rockets. I think it's BPS Space, something like that. That'd probably be your go-to guy for anything model rocket technology thing. He's trying to land his own model rocket using solid rocket model rockets. So it's quite the venture and endeavor. Seems like it would require a little bit of luck, but when you're dealing with solid rocket motors, but all power to you. Minutes away now. The nerd, aka Wisconsin cheese guy. When I lived in the UK, I worked for Emirates and flew a Boeing 777 most of the time, but occasionally I got to fly the Airbus A380. I only worked there for about 4 years, then moved back to Wisconsin. That seems like quite the adventure. I'm jealous. Oh, did BPS Space give up on the landings? Quitter. No. I mean, I always thought it was kind of a weird but still fascinating endeavor to try to pursue landing model rockets using solid rocket boosters because, I mean, it requires luck, not just good timing. So, but yeah, I'm sure he learned a lot and can use that knowledge for future projects. I have a lot of veterans in my family. My uncle. I want to unmute this. My uncle retired as a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. He flew planes. I can't remember what exactly he flew, but then after he got out, he flew, I think it was the Pittsburgh Steelers on their private planes to games. And then his son, my cousin, is he works like black ops for the Air Force, so he leaves the country at weeks at a time and then comes back. So that's pretty cool. He was my cousin that we would always play Flight Simulator 98 together at my grandma's house. And then my little brother, he was Air Force proud. All right. My dad was Navy. Obviously, I was Navy. One of my grandpas was Navy. So all Navy and Air Force in my family, with the exception of my dad's dad, my grandpa on my dad's side, he was Army. So but mostly Navy and Air Force. Very aviation heavy family. That's what we are. They should be starting the stream back up anytime now. At T plus 46 minutes or so, I believe they're supposed to release these things. Puppies are still here. You can see them behind me. We'll get Cairo in here really quick. Oh, he's right outside the door. Come here, Cairo. There he is. Hi, buddy. Up, stretchy pants. Yeah. What's up, Goober? We took him to the vet. Oh, they're back on. Here we go.
For this particular first stage, we landed it
not
successfully
that one.
on our drone ship. And there, as you can see on your screen, we successfully caught one of the fairing halves. That is a recovery vessel, Ms. Tree. Caught that out of the air. The second fairing half
Caught
made
that out of
a
the air?
soft water landing, so Ms. Chief is en route to scoop it out of the ocean. And before we went for a break, we saw the successful deployment of the 3 SkySat satellites for our customer Planet, which were ride-sharing along with Starlink. These 3 SkySats will be joining the 18 already on orbit and will complete Planet's fleet of 21 satellites and make it the largest high-resolution fleet of satellites in orbit to date. So here in just a couple of seconds, we will be deploying our 58 Starlink satellites, which will be joining the nearly 600 that are on orbit. Now, there is a chance, and it looks like I was just going to say that
Starlink tension rod separation confirmed.
Oh,
we have an expected loss of signal over our ground
There we
station.
go.
There we go. We can see the visual confirmation of Starlink deployment.
Beautiful.
Like I said before,
Like a
those
deck of
58
cards.
Starlinks will be joining 600 that are already on orbit. And shortly, they will be deploying their solar arrays. Over the next few days and weeks, they will distance themselves out using the momentum created by the second
Starlink spin
stage.
maneuver complete.
Like I said, we spun it along its central axis to provide the momentum required for those satellites to space out, as you can see there.
Man, they spaced them
So they'll
out
be
good
using
this
their
time.
onboard ion thrusters to make their way to their operational orbit of 550 kilometers above Earth, and will begin to start beaming down high-speed internet to us Earthlings.
That's cool, man.
And with that wonderful view of those Starlink satellites floating out into space, we will now bring our webcast to a close this morning. We'd like to thank our customer Planet for their
right.
continued.
So that was pretty cool. They caught one of the fairings. That's exciting. The other one softly touched down in the ocean. So Mischief, or which one would that be? Mischief will scoop that one out of the water like a fishing boat. Mystery caught hers though. Very awesome. Very awesome. So now they have well over, I think she said well over 600 Starlink satellites now in space, in orbit. Again, like I said, beta has already begun. Looks like that's doing very well. So that's a good thing. I'm sure we're all going to sign up for the service when it's available to us, if it's available to us. Thing is, if everybody uses it, then it's going to slow it down, right? So if you already have high-speed, low-cost internet, which I'm sure all of you do, then don't be selfish. Let the rest of us have Starlink satellite service. Oh, Kevin, you're so selfish. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, exciting stuff. Very successful mission. First booster to launch and land for the 6th time. Consider the record broken. Congratulations, SpaceX. Successful deployment of the customer's 3 imaging satellites. SpaceX released their 58 satellites in a nice, spread out fashion. They must have really had that thing rotating on its axis. It looked like they were way more spread out than usual, which was great to see, worth the wait. And they caught one of the fairings. I feel like as far as catching fairings go, it's a lot of it is up to the atmosphere, the conditions of the atmosphere. If there's a lot of turbulence and crosswinds, I think that blows them off course and makes it harder to do. But if it's more, relaxed and easy going up there in the conditions of the atmosphere, maybe that's when they have better luck. That's my guess. But then again, I'm not a meteorologist. All right. I taught meteorology, but I was not a meteorologist. Okay. I'm a fake. Well, Mike Clark, may you all have a great day. I'm out of here now. Thank you, members and patrons, for tuning in, and mods for modding. Appreciate and love all you guys. Thank you who donated to the channel. Love you. And thank you all who just tuned in for a show to enjoy the wonders of SpaceX missions. That's what we're all here for, right? I'll see you guys later. And for those of you that are going to be on Microsoft Flight Simulator, maybe I'll see you in the skies. Give me a wide berth, though. I'm kind of crazy. Rookie pilot. All right, rookie pilot. Have a wonderful day. Don't do anything I would do. Until the next time, Godspeed.